Yeah, so a few weeks ago, I was just coming out from Chipotle, which I love to eat, by the way. And as I'm there in my car, I'm just praying. I'm like, man, God, I really just want a better understanding of when you're talking to me, when you're trying to lead me to somebody to approach them, or I'm just really trying to understand this. I'm growing this. Just how do I know when it's you, or when it's just my imagination trying to create something from something that's not there? And so I'm sitting here praying that in my car, and as I'm backing out of my car, this guy and his girlfriend are walking front to cross over the road there in the parking lot, and I get impressed in my heart with back, well, when the guy's walking by, and I'm like, okay, like, am I just imagining this? Like, what in the world? I kind of like go back and forth for a second. He's putting the car, and he ends up putting the kids in the car, and then comes back around like to the trunk to continue talking to his girlfriend. So they're kind of standing there by the trunk, and I'm still in my spot there trying to determine whether or not I'm going to approach him. So I chicken out and I drive out of the parking lot and turn to go onto the main road. And as I'm getting ready to turn onto the main road, what God impressed me with is, if this is not about you anymore, then why are you hesitating to go approach him? If you're supposedly living for me, then why are you afraid of what, embarrassment, or and I'm just like, man, God, that's so true. So I'm like, you know what? I got nothing to lose. You're absolutely right. Worst case scenario, I approach him about it, and he's just like, nah, man, I'm good, and then I just drive away and say, okay, cool. So I turn back around and I pull back into Chipotle, and I put my window down, and I'm just like, hey, man, I'm like, by any chance, do you have anything wrong with your back? Like with your spine or something, or your back? And he's like, my back? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, yeah, man, I got a lot going on with it. I'm like, for real? I'm like what? And he's like, man, he's like, it's really messed up. I mean, they haven't been able to diagnose it, but it's really messed up. So I'm like, so it's pretty jacked up. He's like, yeah. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not trying to freak you out or anything. Just hang on. Let me park. I'll be right back. And he's like, okay. So I go park, and I'm walking back over to where him and his girlfriend are right there standing up by the trunk. And, and he's just like, oh, I'm we'll say Tim for the sake of the story. I'm Tim. I said, oh, I'm Miguel. I said, listen, man, I was getting ready to leave. In fact, I did leave. And I just got impressed that there was something going on with your back, man. And, it was so something that I just had to even come back for. And, for whatever reason, man, I know God put that on my heart because he wants to heal you from this. He wants to do something for your back right now. So, I started asking him a little more what's going on with it. And he says that he was in the Marine Corps. And ever since the Marine Corps, his back has been really messed up. I mean, he's got constant nerve pain, constant pain all over. They've done MRIs. They've done x-rays. They haven't been able to diagnose it with anything. And he's just stuck with this back problem, which really stinks. So I asked him, I said, listen, is it all right if I pray for that? And he's like, yeah, cool. And the cool thing is when I mentioned that, I wanted to pray for it, his girlfriend kind of lit up a little bit, and I don't know if she was Christian or whatever, but it was just cool because I could tell, like, up until that point, she wasn't sure if I was just trying to be like Mr. Psychic, rolling up on him. But instead, she was happy to see that this was something that God was coordinating. And so I pray for his back, and after we're done praying, he's just like, thanks, man, I really appreciate that. And so I said, oh, yeah, man, thank you. I said, so check it out, man. How does it feel? How's your back feel? And, he's just like, man, he's like, actually, it's tingling right now, man. And I'm just like, man, that's awesome. Like, wow, that's so amazing. And he just like has this big smile on his on his face. And so I said, man, just keep letting that work, man. He's working on you right now. And so, anyways, I start walking away, and his girlfriend calls out and says, hey, it's his birthday today. And I said, no, you're kidding. It's his birthday. She's like, yeah. I'm like, how old? And she's like, 30. I'm like, oh, man, you're over the hill and stuff. And I was like, but listen, man, on your birthday, God gives you a gift, man. He takes care of your back. He heals your back for you. And now look at you. This is a gift from the Most High. And she's like, I know. That's what I was just telling him. And, he's just there grinning from ear to ear. So it was just so amazing. I got in my car and I was just wrecked. I mean, I was just like, oh, Lord, I was just like overwhelmed by what had just taken place. Because I mean, it's just like, wow, it's just that small, still voice that I was so close to just driving off and leaving, and I would have just missed this opportunity that God had to just reach out to one of his other kids that are there. So it's just so beautiful. I mean, man, I really just hunger to just see more of what our Father's doing and just do more of what he's desiring to do.